Alright, today we're looking at been driving the truck around the dash vent. These little louvers all flop around. I have them taped right now, because this is where they need to sit. But they do kind of, what happens is there's little clips up top here. Let's see if we can look through here. Does that help? Or is it just better to zoom? Yeah, let's just zoom. That'll help you. Oh yeah, look at that. But in here, there's supposed to be, not so much here, but here. There's supposed to be little plastic clips in between. What they do is they keep these basically in their pocket. And they broke. Now this sucker is of course on back order because the entire world is on back order for no reason. So what I'm gonna do is top and bottom, same situation. And then you can see, flip it over for you. Let's put it up there, you can see. The top, well, it's either the top or the bottom has this bar that keeps everything. You see how it turns individually? I don't know what is supposed to stop it from doing that, but I think once I have everything lined up here, it won't do that as much. Or I may have to connect these three at the bottom. But my plan is going to be a very delicate operation here. I'm going to put some tape on these, coming up the sides here too, because I don't want epoxy on these because I have to move. And I'm going to put a little pocket of epoxy on each side of these. And that'll just basically make new plastic so that those stay. It's basically a hinge, it's a pivoting hinge, you know. So I'm going to probably use this screwdriver, put a piece of tape up here, there, and then, actually I don't need it down here. I'm going to take this piece off because I want the epoxy to be here. Yes, this is very intricate stuff here, folks. Alright, you see that? That's what I wanted to do. Bring this conveniently placed coffee over. Yeah, that's the actual wall of this. Because I need this to be able to pivot, so I don't want epoxy on it. I just want the epoxy down in that little valley. I'm basically just making a little nub, kind of like this big of epoxy. And that should allow this to pivot and not slide over. That's the problem, they all slide all over the place. Capiche? I'm going to do all the other ones, top and bottom. Okay, so we are all set. We are going to go epoxy, dab there, dab there, dab there. As I was saying, everything's back ordered. They want, it's 28 bucks just for this, maybe 20, but then you could get the whole assembly, which is what this mounts in, for 28 or 29. So it was like $1 difference. That was on back order. This you could get, and then it's $15 shipping and handling most places. So I will take the time to do this and spend that money. A little dab down in there. It's the light, can't you see it? See it? Can you see it? That little dab? We're going to do all those. Alright, that's hard for me to see, but maybe if on the TV or a bigger screen it'll look better. But I'm just made sure I wipe down up the ramps here because you gotta have the doors have to be able to open. So just down in there has to be there. And I'm going to try to keep this level so you can see it went up the other side. Wow, it's like super bright to the eye, but you get the camera, it's like, anyway. And I'll just make sure these move as I do this. And once that dries, I'll flip it over and do the top. Now, the other thing this vent was missing is these felt pads right here. They go next to the vent when it's sitting in there. What do I call this bad boy? They go in there. I don't think it's this again like that. You get the idea. It keeps it from being loose. But if you're like me, you go to the 99-cent store. You constantly buy these things, and you find a use for them. There's the felt right there. Just as thick. I feel like I didn't need it that thick for this one, but let's make that work. Now this one sits right in here like this. The light. Fingers. There you go. Hold that. That's. You got to put it in between here. Make it tighter. Same with that side. So, I'm gonna have to drill a hole through the center of this, get it bigger. And there you have it. It pivots. It's a little tight, which is good. That's what you want. Sometimes these are like a little bit of that might be visible, so I'm going to paint it black probably when it's in the vehicle. But most of this is covered by the. This is the one by the speedometer. So, but those are a factory thing. They had felt. These were probably deteriorated over time. So there we go. Well, I was wrong. Upon further inspection, if you put the felt there, it interferes with that nub right there, which comes up. And that's supposed to sandwich ye old thing together. So I'm gonna just do a little piece of felt on top there. Let's see if that can mush in there. Tighten this up a little bit. Alright, I stopped being so lazy. I got out the tripod. Show you guys the finished product. So as this was drying throughout the night, I just kept coming in here and holding both sides and pivoting it. And it felt like, felt like glue because it was still drying. But kept doing that. This morning it was still a little stiff, but it's still, I wouldn't say loose, but I'd like it a little tighter, but I think it's going to be fine. That's, it's not falling on its own. But you can see up in there, came out just dandy. With a little patience, you save yourself, another $15 in shipping. These parts add up, and there's nothing wrong with this. People immediately want to replace things when they're restoring or just fixing their trucks. It's kind of funny to me. It's like, well, we were put on this earth with with hands and a brain, all of us. So it's not that difficult. A little patience. It's all it takes. And this used to be chrome too. That's the other one. The other thing, if I ordered a new one, it would have been chrome, and all my other vents are black. So that's pretty much how it's going to go together. It's just if you do have to separate these, you got to be very careful with these tabs here. Just they're very, being old. You might try giving a little heat first. Not a lot of heat, just like a lighter or even a hairdryer. Make that less brittle. So you do have to lift up on that little screwdriver just a little bit to separate these. But I hope that helps somebody. And like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this channel going. Alright. So I shared this on my Instagram. If you're following Mike the Fixer, maybe it's YouTube, Instagram, I don't know, something like that. I don't know what I am. Picked up just the cable for this new old stock on eBay. What a nice purchase, huh? But I didn't want to get the whole thing. They sell the whole thing, but the reproductions don't have this font. It's DNL2. It just says drive 2.1, I think. So So I wanted to keep it original. You know, one thing I had to do is this plastic was broken, so I put made a little pin there and slipped the cable through. Hopefully this will work. So, and this is a double cable because my ones I was making were single cable and they kept breaking. So let's see, let's get this back together. And in case you're unfamiliar with what this does, this is it's a cable activated shift indicator. So, as you shift R and D, and the column rotates where you clip it on. Fancy stuff. These cables break. You have to adjust them to get park where it's supposed to be. Reverse drive. And my transmission's look at drive and neutral are very sloppy, so someday we'll get that new transmission in. Well, there she is back together. Dash vents, etc. Those all work now. Tighten them up. God, there's a lot of traffic today. And you can see that's the epoxy down in there. It's just shiny because it's black. I'm guessing. My headlight switch I gotta play with. I may have to trim that a little bit to get this to engage. So, because this is back all the way. The other vent, the other vent that was loose was this one, and now it's pretty tight. Pretty tight. So, that's cool. Everything matches now. I gotta do something about these gauges. I just had them zip tied here. Almost like them back here. Almost don't like them anywhere, actually. You know, it had that typical add-on GM, add-on auto parts store 3-gauge thing. You hit your knees on stuff. I don't know. And people put them up in the pillars. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just put another gauge. I'll get a volt gauge instead of amps. Put a mechanical temp gauge. I don't know. I kind of like having both, mechanical and electric. All right, that's it. Go have a good time. All right.